we're back to freecodecamp, still front-end development libraries, and it's the second one, jQuery this time, only 18 tasks. So jQuery is just like Bootstrap, one of these libraries that we can easily use on a website by just linking to it. freecodecamp has already done that in the background, so somewhere behind the scenes. Therefore we can simply edit by using the script tags. In the first lesson we'll put them right here, so opening and closing tags. And then we can put our jQuery stuff inside in the following tasks. Let us put the main function inside, so this document ready function. And usually this $, that's an indicator of jQuery being used. So this always comes first, and we will see so in the future lessons. We should be done here, so let me run the tests. Now we're going to target an HTML element. And the way to target them is to use the $, and then within the parentheses we define what we want to select. So we've done something similar in CSS where we've selected elements, IDs, or classes. Let us do that here as well, and we'll do it for the buttons. And afterwards we'll add class animated bounds, and this is what jQuery does. It just adds these classes to all the elements, and now they're bounds in an animated fashion. So there are predefined effects, you could say. So just as Bootstrap added predefined designs, jQuery adds pre-designed animations and so forth. We've selected an element already. Now we're going to select a class. So button was our element in the last test, and we've made it bounds. Now we're going to target div elements with the class well. So we should have two of them for the left and right well. Again, we need the $, the parentheses, and inside we put our selector, in this case .well for the class well. So here is the first one. It's the left well, it's the container element for target 1, 2, and 3. And the right well is the container for target 4, 5, 6. And they both have the class well. So we are targeting both. Add class, and let me read what we should do. We'll use an animated shake. And now these outer boxes for the wells, they are shaking. Finally, we can also select by ID. So we had element and class already with button and well. Now we're going to use an ID, and all of our targets, they use IDs. On the left and right well containers, they also use IDs. In this case, we want to target a specific button. It's target 3. And we'll add animated fade out. So we'll add once again a class. And we need to add the quotation marks. And it should already work. So you can see target 3 fades out. On the left hand side it was done for target 6. Are we good? Let's delete a jQuery function. Alright, we'll get rid of all of what we've done so far. And then we'll start with the basic outline in the next task. So we'll go over this once more. We'll select an element, a class, and an ID. So it's always the same outline. Yet again, $, parentheses inside we need to select. In this case, the button. So all of our 6 buttons are targeted. And we'll add animated to it. So now if we select a specific button, we don't have to add animated anymore because all buttons now have it. Next up, we'll select the btn class. So we need .btn. All of our buttons have that class. We'll add shake, and there's now an animated shake because buttons have now animated and shake added to them. Target 1 gets the btn primary. We know that from Bootstrap. That's a different color. So this bluish color right here. You can also remove classes. All of our buttons have a btn default class, which gives them the specific color. Let us select the button and then remove class btn minus default. And this should take away this white color. And you can see it's now grayish, so it worked. We can also change CSS using jQuery. In the example on the left hand side, target 1 with a hashtag, so ID selector would get a blue color. In our example, we want to target 1 by ID and then change the color to red. That's almost the exact same example that we've got. And we also want to delete all of the other ones. So hashtag target 1 for the selector .css. We use the color property and add a value of red. And you can see it made the text target 1 red. Let's disable an element using jQuery. There's a prop function for that. So it stands for property, and we can add properties to elements, to whatever we select using it. In the example on the left, we'll add disabled and set it to true. Let's do that for target 1. So ID selector dot prop using disabled, and we'll set it to true. And watch what happens to the left well. Target 1 is red. It's now being blurred out a little bit, so it's disabled now. We can also add entire HTML code blocks using jQuery. For example, on the left hand side we have our H3 selected, and we'll add jQuery playground using EM elements. So it's going to put emphasis on it, which is going to format it in an italic way. Our H3 was the main heading on the right hand side. Let us change the button with ID target 4 and emphasize its text. Target 4 is currently in the right well. Use the ID selector, then .html. And we want to use emphasis. And if I just add it like this, it is added, but the text is gone. And it should stay that way. If I just add text, you can see this is added. And we want to have hashtag target 4. But it's now in italic. So this is what you also can do using jQuery. And I believe I'm done, but let me check the tests below. But I'm good. Let's remove an element using jQuery. There's a simple remove function for that. We just need to select something, in this case target 4, so that's in the right well. And if we add .remove, it's going to vanish. But I've got a typo here, I corrected, and now it's gone. Just like removing stuff, we can also add certain things. All that we need to is to select the place where we want to put it into, or in this case append it to, and then select what we want to append. So we first select, in this case target 2. This is in the left well, and we put it now in the right well. So the right well was this container element on the right hand side. Target 2 was in the container on the left hand side, and now it has switched position, so it's gone on the left and added, appended on the right. Let's clone an element. And here on the left hand side we can see that multiple functions are applied to a single selector. So this is called function chaining. We can use that in jQuery. And you've definitely seen that in JavaScript, so this is possible in most coding languages. For this task we'll select target 5. We'll clone it. For now it's in the right well, and now we append it to the left well, and we use an ID selector. but I believe I've made a typo somewhere right here. So target 5 was now cloned, it's in the right well, and then it was appended to the left well, so it's now in both container elements. Let's target the parent of an element. In simple terms, you could say parents and children have this connection, so children are always nested inside of the parents, at least here in HTML. For example, here we've got the container fluid, and h3 is a child of it, so the container fluid is the parent, and body is the parent of the container fluid. And we can select parents by using this .parent function. In this specific test, we need the parent of our target1 element, and this should be the left well div container. So we select target1 by ID, then the parent, and then we'll add CSS to it. We need background color property and set the value to red. And this should make the left well, so this container element red as background, and it worked. So again, here's our ID target1, code line 21. The parent is the well, the left well in code line 20. Just as you can select parents, you can also select children. So if we, for example, select the left well, we would have the chance to select its children, target 1, 2, and 3. What do we need here? Let me read it carefully. We need to select the right well, we'll do so by ID, and our children. So originally this was target 4, 5, and 6. And we add CSS color orange to it, and this would make target 5, 6, and 2 orange. We have removed 4 as far as I can recall, so it is not targeted anymore. Well, we're good here. Let's move on to targeting a specific child. We can use nth child of. I believe we've had that already when we were looking at CSS in freecodecamp, so one of the earlier course sections. On the left hand side you can see an example. We've got .target, so a class selector, and nth child 3, so the third child is selected, and animated bounds is added as a class. In our example, we want the second child of the well elements, so we can select the target.target class and use the nth child 2. And we need to add class and make it bounce, so animated bounce is needed. and this gives target 3 and target 6 this bounds. Let us check why that is. So we've selected .target. You can see that class right here in our buttons. We've selected the second element. So right here it should be target 3, because target 2, we've moved that into the right well as the third element. So target 2 is not the second element anymore, it's target 3 now. And if I make that 1, you can see target 1 would bounce. And child 2 is now target 3. On the right hand side, if I change it for example to 3, we've got target 6 and target 2 bouncing. So we're good here. I'll move on to target even elements using jQuery. So instead of using nth child of, we can use odd or even. But be careful here, it starts counting at 0. So just like with index positions that we've had in the JavaScript course section, we start with element 1 at position 0 and so forth. We'll select once again the target class. We use the even elements. So the ones with index 0, 2 and so forth. So target 1, target 6 and target 5. Let us go over this. So here's the first target, target 1, is position 0, and this is why it shakes. I'll show you this again. Target 5 also shakes. We have cloned it and then appended it to the left well, so it's now in position 2, so index position 2. And finally also target 6 shakes now. It's right here in position 2 of the right well, so it's also even. Target 4 doesn't bounce, it would be in position 0, but we have removed it right here in code line 5. This is why that doesn't shake, so we only have 1, 5 and 6 shaking. Let's modify the entire page by targeting the body. You can, for example, fade it out. But there's also a hinge, an animated hinge class that we can use. So $, we'll select the body element, .add class, and animated and hinge. And I believe that concludes our jQuery core section here. There's certainly more to it. It's a bigger library than is presented here. So this is more like an introduction to it. I'll put it on my list to make more videos about jQuery in the future. And I will also cover more Bootstrap, but that's stuff for the future. Next up on freecodecamp is Sass. It's just 9 tasks. I should be able to upload that quickly. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.